Okay. Well, good evening, folks, and thank you for joining us again via Facebook Live, I guess. This is coming in at. Unfortunately, we're still doing this, but I guess we probably will be for another meeting or two, and hopefully everybody's staying safe and listening to the Chief Medical Officer. So I'll call to order the regular meeting of March the 2nd, 2021. And first off, adoption of agendas and minutes, and the adoption of the meeting agenda for March the 2nd, 2021. Moved by Councillor Bent, seconded by Councillor Bursey. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Adoption of the meeting minutes of February the 16th, 2021. Moved by Deputy Mayor Murphy, seconded by Councillor Uden. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those against, motion carried. Business arising from previous minutes? There being none. Next, we have visitors, presentations, and petitions. So we do have a proclamation this evening before we do the go around. So I'll ask our viewers to bear with me for a minute to see if I can manage to find all this here. Technology is not my strong suit. I guess someone. All right. So this is a proclamation of World Lymphedema Day, March the 6th, 2021. Whereas lymphedema is a chronic and debilitating disease characterized by an accumulation of lymphatic fluid that causes swelling of the arms, legs, and other areas of the body. Whereas patients with lymphedema may struggle with pain and swelling and may experience financial and psychological strains due to the difficulties of managing their disease. Whereas while there are cases of primary lymphedema that are inherited, most cases are secondary that developed as a result of trauma, infection, surgery, radiation therapy, or removal of lymph nodes. Whereas the removal of lymph nodes and radiation therapy are typical in cancer treatment, leaving some cancer survivors predisposed to lymphedema. Whereas research about lymphedema has continued to grow, ensuring the best practices are available for patient care. Whereas lymphedema affects many people in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Whereas the Lymphedema Association of Newfoundland and Labrador is a registered charity dedicated to ensuring all lymphedema patients have access to information, support, and treatment. Whereas March the 6th of each year is internationally recognized as World Lymphedema Day to raise awareness about this disease and the treatment options available. Therefore, I, Terry French, of the town of Conception Bay South, do hereby proclaim March the 6th, 2021 to be observed as World Lymphedema Day in Conception Bay South. Thank you very much. Okay. Back to the agenda. Next we have, I guess now is the time, new business. So we'll start off with Deputy Mayor Murphy.
Thank you very much, Your Worship, and hopefully your computer will last long enough to get through this one. Anyway, just to the folks and the residents of our town, welcome to the second circuit breaker for our lockdown period. We're into week number 3 of a full lockdown, level 5. And look, I just like to encourage people, that as difficult as this is, with the lockdown and the restrictions and the snow and the wind and the rain and the ice, hold fast, as Dr. Fitzgerald says, each and every day. And we want to make sure that everybody is safe and be kind. And I'll use this opportunity as well, Your Worship, to announce to our residents that Council has decided, effective today, that the payment of taxes for 2021 will be extended to March 31st. So that's hopefully that will help out our residents in these troubling times. So again, it's March 31st for tax deadlines. And with that, Your Worship, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'll send it right back to you.
Thank you very much. Next, Councillor Uden.
Yeah, I'll be relatively quick. I know this week we asked for input with regards to a recent development application and, or I guess, amendment to our bylaws and zoning, specifically around our new community park. I think in time, I think what we need to do is look at amending our bylaws, or at least having some I guess operating guidelines / rules for not just this park but every park in the town. So looking at I know other parks such as Topsail Beach and other parts. I know Councillor Tilley Station Road, but just some general guidelines in terms of what can happen there and so forth. So I think as we move forward with that development regulation, I think we also need to move forward with amending some of our own bylaws within the town so that I guess it provides a level of comfort for residents that we're not going to have rock star concerts, and most of our events are family oriented anyway. So I just think something that the planning committee got to keep on the radar and at least get done in the next couple of months. That's it.
Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have a few items, but I'm going to wait till I give my report at the Public Works session.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Tilley. Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, just want to draw our residents' attention to the Healthcare Foundation Dream Home again this year. This is the second year in a row that's been at Kingfisher Estates, which is sort of out on Manuel's Beach at the end of Cherry Lane. It's a beautiful $1 million home right on the water. Last year's campaign was such a success that it came back to CBS Conception Bay South the second time, and we're hoping to attract them back again for a third year if we make this a success again this year. So tickets are now available, and we encourage our residents to take a run out and have a look at that beautiful home on the bay and get behind this worthwhile project.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Councillor Bent.
Thank you, Your Worship. This evening, I just wanted to, reiterate some of the things that Deputy Mayor Murphy said. Level 5 again, and of course that means it's a very problematic time for a number of our businesses, especially restaurants in the community and so forth. And I want to encourage everyone to try to shop local and support the local businesses here in Conception Bay South, and through our online Facebook and Twitter and so forth. We've been doing some digital testimonials with some of our local businesses. I believe that Musically Inclined was highlighted just recently, and we've done a few of those to help promote local businesses in the town. And just want to remind everybody that they need our support and shop local as well. I wanted to just say this as well for anybody that's going around and able to do so, to just remind them that the fire hydrant in your area may need a little shoveling or a clearing out and so forth. If you can help with that, that would be greatly appreciated. And I understand that in some cases they may be getting buried too much in heavy piles of snow, and just contact the town and let the town know that, so that you can try to get that looked after. But anything you can do to help get fire hydrants in your area clear would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Your Worship.
Councillor Bursey. Sorry, Councillor Bursey, I believe you're on mute. Are you, buddy? I don't see your mute sign, but I don't turn on the headphones, maybe off.
How about that now? Can you hear me now?
Very low, but I can hear you.
Now.
Yeah, you're good to go there now. I think you need a headphone adjustment.
Yeah, something. Sorry about that, guys.
No,
So, I leave a couple items for this evening. First of all, the Winterfest 2021 there's update. Since the most recent move to alert level 5, all in-person events for Winterfest will now be taking place, as the safety of the residents and staff is the town's top priority. Therefore, the committee has planned many virtual events for residents to take part in during the month of March. While the majority of these events will carry a Winterfest theme, they will be carried out over a longer period of time to allow many residents as possible to avail of the opportunity. Some of these events virtually trivia, bingo, story time, and a mic night for youth, and a Winterfest kitchen party, several fitness opportunities. We also like to encourage support from many of our community groups to get involved. All virtual events will be advertised in the Shoreline and throughout the town's social media page. And I'd just like to take a time to thank the Winterfest Committee for a job well done. Unfortunately, he couldn't carry the plans through that he hoped to carry through, but we had a great bunch of guys and girls. It is eager to work. Some new members joined us and some old members. So I like to thank that as a member for joining us the service. And when we announced last week that we were shutting down the in-person meeting, there was a lot of sad faces around the Zoom meeting for sure. And the finish off the sports awards. If you know an outstanding athlete or coach from the Conception Bay South, is not too late to nominate them. The deadline for nominations for 2020 Sports Awards have been extended until March 12th, 2021. Nominations are being accepted online through the town's website at www.conceptionbaysouth.ca. That's all, worship, for this evening. Thank you. That's good.
Councillor Butler.
Yeah,
I got it. Yeah, we're good, Junior. Thanks.
All right.
I was on mute. Couldn't respond.
If I got to repeat that again, I'm going to be annoying.
Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. First of all, I'd like to reiterate what Councillor Bent mentioned about the spotlight on our community businesses, and Musically Inclined was the one I just actually looked at there a little while ago. It's great to see the town staff focusing on economic development tourism in that way, and anybody who's on social media certainly can listen to their stories, and I really enjoyed listening to Carrie's. And another note, Topsail United Church is having a drive-through food drive Saturday coming from 2 to 4, and all you have to do is drive up in your vehicle, pop your trunk, and they'll take the donations from your trunk, or if you're giving a monetary, I guess at your driver's door. And a couple of items that are really needed: tin meats, sugar, tea bags, tin pasta, tin tomatoes, crackers, cookies, tin pasta sauce, and pasta. And you can check on social medias on the CBS Community Voice, I think the ad is there. Again, that's Topsail United this Saturday from 2 to 4. And if the weather is bad, it'll be on Sunday from 2 to 4. And that's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Councillor Davis.
Nothing from me, Your Worship.
I just have a couple of things, and most of it actually has been mentioned. Just want to talk about town services a little. I think you'll hear more from Councillor Tilley now when Public Works comes up on some of the things, some announcements that's coming in the next couple of days. But just want to remind people that we're still, we're still providing all the essential services. But bear with us. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we've had to make staffing decisions and do some juggling, if you will, create a fourth and a fifth line so that, God forbid, that we were ever COVID ever did hit our town hall. We've been very fortunate so far, I think, and with most of our essential service staff, we've managed to get through. But we've always got people now staying away from others so that we got shifts. They don't interact too much. So it's a little challenging. And so where we once had 11, 12, 14 people snow clearing, that may now be reduced by 2 or 3, a complement of 2 or 3 on each shift. So bear with us. We will be providing the essential services, but maybe a little slower than you're normally used to, but we'll get there. And like I said earlier, keep listening to the Chief Medical Officer, and hopefully we'll all get through this one as well as we got through the last shutdown and move into some better days ahead. I can't help but comment on Councillor Bent. I think it was mentioned shop local, and Councillor Butler. I think I certainly encourage it. I've already ordered my lunch for us here at the house from the Hangout for Friday with their pop-up lunch. A great deal, great sandwiches. I had them before, and encourage the family to all dig through their pockets, and we placed our order today. So, and the Hangout is just one of many that could use our support in the town of Conception Bay South. So encouraging all residents to still make an effort to go and support your local restaurants, takeouts. Of course, it's all takeout now, and all businesses. Whatever you need, most of these our businesses now have expanded to allow you to come to the door and they put it in your trunk. And if they haven't, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to make the appropriate arrangements for you should you want to purchase something for them. So I encourage people again to continue to reach out and support our local businesses through this very, very tough time. So without further ado, we'll move on. Recommendations of the Planning and Development Committee Chair, Councillor Rex Hiller.
Yes, Your Worship, following our recommendations brought forth from our February 23rd, 2021 Planning and Development meeting. Number 1, 15 Topsail Beach Road, ancillary agricultural use. Recommendation, be it so resolved that the resolution number 20-416 passed at the December 8th, 2020 meeting of council be rescinded. And further, be it resolved that in accordance with the council's discretionary authority at section 10.7 of the town's development regulations, application number 2020-299 be approved for hobby farming as an ancillary use at 15 Topsail Beach Road on the condition that a maximum of 15 hens, ducks, quails, or geese be permitted on the property, that the birds must be contained within the property at all times, that the area within the property where the birds are to be kept must be fenced to the satisfaction of the town, and that any hives, coop, or run proposed with the application must be located and built in accordance with the town's accessory building regulations. And further, be so resolved that the town of Conception Bay South reserves its authority to revoke the approval should there be complaints of nuisance received from the neighborhood, or if the applicants fail to comply with the conditions set out above. So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second, Councillor Tilley. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this came to us back in December. Residents were looking for 25 birds on their property. At first glance, we had a look at it and decided that 25 was obviously too many, and we turned down their application. In the interim, they asked to meet with committee. They came in, sat down with committee, and I must say, did a fabulous presentation with us. We had a very good chat. When they left, upon discussion, we decided to recommend 15 birds as indicated in this motion, but with some very tight conditions as laid out here as well.
All those in favor?
I'm sorry, Your Worship,
sorry.
missed the queue on the
No,
on the
sorry.
mute there. I just wanted to speak to this just for a moment, if I could. I too was in the meeting with the proponents on this when they made their pitch, I guess, for having the birds. And as Councillor Hillier said, that they were looking for many more birds than this. I know the committee came to a decision to allow up to 15 birds at this location. I am concerned and was concerned that this is a high number, and I guess the biggest concern with it is maybe even not so much the number of birds, is that I'm not sure it falls within consistency of what we've done in the past. This is at least a half-acre lot, and notices were sent around to residents, and we did receive a couple submissions on this with concerns with regards to the regular things, rodents and noise and all that sort of stuff. But one of the things I will say is having met with them and heard their proposal and seen the concerns of the residents and the final recommendation here this evening, that this clearly puts the power, and it's my belief and my hope, and I'll certainly push forward, this certainly puts the power in the hands of the residents down there, that if this becomes a problem for them, that basically this recommendation says this becomes a problem for us. We don't like to curtail. I don't think I'd like to curtail people from wanting to do hobby farms and have birds and so forth on their property. But I am concerned that it's going to cause a problem for local residents. And quite frankly, I think that the I think that the provisions that are put in this recommendation, it puts the power in those local residents' hands to basically come to us to pull the plug, is something that I think gives us an opportunity to work. If it doesn't work, then I think that it's upon us to pull the plug. So I'm going to support this recommendation and see, and hopefully that all the parties can make it work and not become a nuisance down there. That's the last thing that we want to see down on Topsail Beach Road, is further a nuisance beyond the traffic that they've seen over the past year or so.
Anybody else? Yeah, I just want to say too that, yes, at first it was, I sat back as well, Councillor Bent, but what I did realize is that the planning committee did go back and do their due diligence, put a number of things in place to protect area residents and protect the whole area actually, and did their due diligence, which I was extremely pleased to see. So the council and staff went and did a piece of work on it and came back with the right regulations, I believe, so that we can still maintain that rural feel to living in sometimes an urban area. So the size of the piece of land and so on did allow for it. So although I had concerns out of the gate, I want to thank the planning committee for I guess helping alleviate some of those concerns, and hopefully it'll help alleviate area residents' concerns as well. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those against?
And
One against. Motion carried.
Number 2, Your Worship. Be it so resolved that application number COM-21-005 received on January 14, 2021 for personal service use as a home-based business at 26 Cambridge Crescent be approved in accordance with Council's discretionary authority at section 10.7 of the town's development regulations. So moved.
Seconder?
Second.
Councillor Tilley, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Number 3, be it so resolved, our application 32 Fogarty Avenue, proposed home-based business. Be it so resolved that application number COM-21-021 received on January 25, 2021 for personal service use as a home-based business at 32 Fogarty Avenue be refused in accordance with Council's discretionary authority at section 10.7 in consideration that the property does not have the required off-street parking to accommodate both residential and home-based business use required by section 7.7 or 6.7.1 A, Roman numerals 3. Oh boy, staff are giving me a hard time with that one tonight, sir. Of the town's development regulations. So moved.
Seconder? Deputy Mayor Murphy, discussion?
Your Worship, residents were looking for a permit to open a home-based business at that site, and the concerns with our staff is that basically there's not enough parking, not enough off-street parking to accommodate that business.
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Your Worship, before we get to the blanket statement, I just want to, I guess, add to one of Councillor Uden's comments earlier, and that is the issue concerning the amending of our development regulations for open space accessory uses. And as you're aware, Your Worship, we're in the process of amending our development regulations in that regard. This was triggered with the development of our community park project at Bishop's Road. In past weeks, we've sought input from residents with a specific focus on residents in that general area, and we have received some comments from residents in that area. The deadline for resident input was Thursday past, so those submissions that we've received will be evaluated over the next week, and will come to planning committee next Tuesday. Our hope is that we can then, planning committee can make a recommendation on that issue and bring it forward to our next public meeting, which is on March 16th.
Yeah, if I could just add to that, Councillor Hillier, like I read, of course, the people's comments on the whole area, and I can assure them that the intent of this park is certainly not to be, to be put there to hurt people in the area or to be a nuisance to people in the area. This was a piece of land that was purchased by a previous council. To be very frank with you, I see why they purchased the land. It was purchased because the late Paul Johnson, one of the greatest philanthropists probably the province ever seen, wanted that to be part of a community park. He wanted the council to buy it for that reason, and that was the reason that the council bought it at the time. And although it's some of the comments that I made, I know you got concerns over lighting and noise and so on. Council is going to do everything in their power to help alleviate some of that points. And one of the things that was really jumped out at me, I guess, and I didn't really catch it the first go through, this was never meant to be a concert venue. And I know one of it there talks about a performing stage. Well, there's no way that there will be big bands playing in that area, and it's not made for that. That's not the intent of it. The intent of us even having a stage there was much more to the level of a tree lighting ceremony that many of you residents have been through over the years, where you stand up and you say a few words, and one of the kids comes up and throws the switch, and Santa visits. That's the kind of a stage that we're having. I'll refer to it as even a nice gazebo that you can stand up to. Much the same as you'd probably see something like in Topsail Beach, something of that nature. So this is not to be a large concert venue, nothing from the sort. Yes, there will be a raised platform there, and we've still got a lot of work to do to the layout of that, and we're going to work with area residents to make sure that lighting is appropriate, that we can do what we can to minimize sound. So whatever we can do to help area residents, we're going to do. And like I said, the intent of this park is not to, it's intent to improve people's livelihood in the town, and certainly not meant to, to do any bad to people in the area. So we'll work with you on the programming, but that's down the road. This is mainly the main reason for this is so we can put in a building with washrooms, and there has to be mechanical rooms and so on, depending on what we decide to put there. But believe me when I tell you that this is not done to do any kind of harm to the local residents. Quite the contrary. We want to have a nice neighborhood in that area, and we'll do everything we can to assist local residents in minimizing some of the concerns. But as I wanted to put it to bed, this is not a concert venue, and there will be no big band concerts. Quite the contrary. On a worst case scenario, as a busker, a teddy bear picnic, a tree lighting ceremony, that's what you'll see a raised platform or stage used for. And the size of it won't be conducive to big bands. We've all talked about this around council. So I just wanted to relay that, because I noticed that was coming through loud and clear in many of the letters that we received from area residents and people who are opposed to the regulation change right now. So I'll just end it there, Councillor Hillier, and I guess that'll come through. You guys still have to review all the issues that they talked about, and then you'll bring forward a recommendation, I guess, at the next council meeting.
That's the plan, Your Worship. Thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you.
And finally, Your Worship, the blanket recommendation. Be it so resolved that decisions, recommendations made at the Planning and Development Committee meeting on February 23rd, 2021 be accepted as presented. So move.
Seconder. Councillor Bent. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Recommendations, the Engineering and Public Works Committee, Chair Councillor Gerard Tilley.
Thank you, Worship. Following our presentation of our recommendations of our meeting that we held on February 23rd. Number one is a tender 21-01, which is the purchase of one new 2021 or newer 4x4 rubber tire backhoe. Approval to award. Be it so resolved that approval be given to award tender 21-01, purchase of one new 2021 or newer 4x4 rubber tire backhoe to Madsen Construction Equipment for the bid price of $153,850 plus HST. Funds to be taken from the capital fleet account. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler. Discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, this is just part of our fleet replacement program, and I believe the current backhoe that we have now is
It's outlived its useful life, and it's time to get a new one.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
And the next item is the Garden Road, Morgan Road stormwater review. This particular area has experienced water concern in recent years, and it requires a detailed review. So we expect that this review will be completed in the late spring. So be it so resolved that approval be given to enter into an agreement with SNC Lavalin Incorporated to complete the Billybrook stormwater review at an approximate cost of $22,900 plus HST. Funds are available in the so noted account. So moved.
Seconder? Councillor Bursey. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
And Your Worship, before I get into the blanket recommendation, I just want to touch upon a few items in the Public Works. As a reminder, today's waste collection area 1A and 1B that was cancelled due to the weather will be collected tomorrow alongside the regular Wednesday scheduled garbage collection in areas 2A and 2B. And as well, an update on recycling collection is expected to be announced tomorrow. Emergency breakwater repairs. Repairs are ongoing on the Inner Harbour breakwater. Currently, the contractor is focused on the most damaged area and placing varied sized rock and geogrid materials. Dredging of the Inner Harbour Channel is also proceeding at this time. The construction schedule for this work is highly dependent on favorable weather conditions and is expected to be ongoing daily until the emergency repairs are completed. Construction progress and updates can be found on the town's website. Some recent weather. The town has seen 20 to 30 centimeters of snow fall over the last couple of days. And of course, despite current challenge with our COVID-19 guidelines, winter control operations have continued in a safe manner while remaining committed to providing a high level of service. Following today's snowfall, all roads have seen at least one initial pass, and pushback and cleanup will continue over the next 24 to 48 hours. We have recently received several kind messages of appreciation and would like to thank all residents and business owners for their patience and support. And the blanket recommendation. Be it so resolved that the recommendation decisions made at the Engineering Public Works Committee meeting of February 23, 2021 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder?
Second.
Councillor Uden. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
That's it for Public Works.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Next, we have the recommendations, Recreation and Leisure Services Committee Chair, Councillor Junior Bursey.
Yes, Your Worship, I only have the blanket recommendation for this evening. Presentation and recommendations of meeting held on February 22nd, 2021, Recreation and Leisure Service Committee. Recommendation. Be it so resolved that recommendations and decisions made at the Recreation and Leisure Service meeting of February 22nd, 2021 be accepted and presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Bent. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Councillor Bursey. Did I? No, okay. Thought I missed someone then. Recommendations of Financial Administration Services Committee, Chair Deputy Mayor Richard Murphy.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. These are the recommendations coming out of a meeting held on February 23rd, 2021. Accounts payable check register. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $229,956.27. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
Councillor Davis. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
The next one is the ratification of manual checks previously released. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks previously released totaling $16,463.66. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
Councillor Davis. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next is capital invoices. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $199,349.68 as per the attached table. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Bent, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Next one is change in meeting schedule, which is done on an annual basis. Be it so resolved that the public meetings for the summer months be held on June 15th, July 13th, and August 17th. The regular public meeting schedule will resume for the month of September. So moved.
Seconder.
Second.
Councillor Bercy, discussion.
Your worship, yeah, this is usually done on an annual basis to allow both council and staff some extra time with family. So we revert to a monthly meeting versus every 2 weeks.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion carried.
And the next one is an order regarding 201 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that the order issued on January 6, 2021 under the Municipalities Act 1999 and the Town of Conception Bay South waste disposal and property regulations, ordering the property owner to remove all wrecked, dismantled, and inoperative vehicles, vehicle parts, tires, and debris from the property located at 201 Conception Bay Highway be rescinded. So moved.
Second.
Second.
Councillor Bent, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
The next one, your worship, is a personnel matter for the Public Works Supervisor. Be it so resolved that approval be given to appoint Des Power to the position of Public Works Supervisor as per the terms and conditions of the employment contract. So moved.
Second. Councillor Bercy, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
And the final one is the committee report. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting of February 23rd, 2021 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Bercy, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor Murphy. Recommendations of Economic Development and Tourism, Chair, Councillor Cheryl Davis.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a blanket recommendation. Be it so resolved that the recommendation and decisions made at the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting of February 23rd, 2021 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder.
Second.
Councillor Hillier. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Councillor Davis. Other committee reports? There being none, call for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Bent, second by Councillor Hillier. Thank you very much, folks. Good night. And to those that are out there watching and to those that are on the line, please stay safe.